2026, a lot of times the average woman is not dealing with a real man. I know within 10 minutes of speaking with a woman what type of man, caliber of a man they deal with, because a real man corrects if they have like standards and they have like, boundaries. When a woman is not speaking correctly, they correct that. And I feel like a lot of men in this generation, they lack that. They're comfortable with women being in their masculine. Yeah. And that's the problem. I'm somebody that if a woman is speaking in a specific vernacular that I perceive as masculine, I'm going to correct them and be like, look, I don't like that you say that. Don't say that. Like, that's not ladylike. Certain girls be talking like twin, this, that, the third. I correct it and then it makes me know the level of men they dealt with. So I know you haven't dealt with a real caliber man that's going to say, look, this is what you say. This is how you talk around me. I'm not accepting the other shit you're talking about. I know what you're used to dealing with, but when you're talking with me, this is how you talk to me.
So as you guys know, I've been harsh on King 6'8". Not really harsh on it, but I just call it how I see it. It's crazy that watching this clip, he was actually speaking on points. Like, he was hitting on everything that he was saying for the most part. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, at the end of the day, man, what's lacking with the modern day man is masculinity. I've been saying that since the beginning of the time. That's the way that I've been operating with women and things like that. King 6'8", you know what I mean? I've seen some of his approaches, things like that, and I've been critical, but nothing disrespectful, just flat out calling it how I see it. And lately, the last clip that I watched him, I thought he handled that very well, other than trying to pull her to another location. But some guys, they do that. You know what I mean? That is what it is. I'm not a big fan of that. You know what I mean? Especially if a girl feeling me that hard, I'm going to try to pull her to a secluded location, just me and her. And then if I decide to go to that other location after the fact, after I do what I do with her, then that's my decision. But King 6'8" was actually hidden because he was saying that a lot of men aren't masculine nowadays, and a lot of men don't understand the importance of being masculine, because at the end of the day, a lot of guys who are dealing with a chick or find themselves in a monogamous relationship or hanging out with a chick a lot, one of the things that I want to warn these guys of is, if you find that your chick is becoming more masculine around you, some corrections need to be made, right? Some corrections need to be made, because for some reason she's looking at you as her equal. For some reason she's looking at you as somebody that she feels like she has some kind of advantage over, or she feels like you won't leave her, or she feels like you're the best thing that she has ever had, or she feels like you can't do better than her. When you ever find a woman in her masculine, it's usually downhill from there. And what I mean by that is, if you guys, and everybody make mistakes, and I'm not telling you guys to be overconscious of this stuff, but I'm just letting you know that if you go through the CLG program, you do the 13-week program, you're naturally going to be a masculine man that's going to be able to naturally handle these types of situations without falling into that scarcity trap. Because usually that's what it's really coming down to. It's really coming down to scarcity. And the reason why this is bad for you is because this is when the girl starts saying, oh, I don't feel like having sex tonight. Oh, do I got to suck your dick again? Oh, I don't want to give you head today. Or when she used to be an eater. When she used to cook and clean. When she used to do things without you having to ask. When she used to, you get what I'm trying to say? So when you start seeing that kind of treatment declining, that's because she's starting to look at you as her equal. She's starting to see scarcity from you. She's starting to believe that you cannot replace her. She's starting to believe that she's perfect as she is. And usually this is a bad predicament to be in. This is why in the CLG, a lot of times it's very hard to 100% prevent it, just because the media is feeding masculinity into these women's heads. So it's very difficult to prevent it, because it's going to happen. But when you find yourself in this situation, pussy ain't wet like it used to be, she don't want to give you head as much, things like that, you have to correct yourself by being more masculine. Now, all of the keys, all of the tools, all of the gold nuggets are in the CLG community. That's only $48 a month, but this is what I will tell you. At the end of the day, a masculine man is not going to allow a feminine person, whether female or male, to convince them of doing something outside of their will. For example, girls will say this: why is sex so important to men? Why is sex so important to men? Why do I have to have it all the time? Forget the reason why we have to have it. Forget the reason why you think it should or shouldn't be important to us. Forget all of that. Just understand that this is what it is, and that's how we going with it. You understand where I'm coming from? Forget the trying to question everything, trying to understand everything, trying to do everything, trying to have all the research, trying to get all the knowledge. At the end of the day, this is what it is to be a part of my program. It's either you own it or you're not. I'm not sitting here about to write a whole goddamn book why something is important to me. At the end of the day, you was picky enough, you chose your leader, now follow. You understand? These are the little manipulative techniques that girls will use to put you back in your feminine. And a lot of guys are going to fall into this trap because media has taught you, the propaganda in media has taught you to be feminine. Just like the propaganda in media has taught her to be masculine, to question everything that you are as a man. Question everything that you are as a man. Why is sex so important to you? Why is it so important to you? Why don't you care about the connection? Bitch, because I'm not a fucking female. I stated what's important. I'm not finna go into detail. This is important to me. If you want to rock with me, be on and have access to me, this is what I require. If you cannot do that, then bye. If that's something that is just not in your wheelhouse for whatever reason, bye. Sometimes men have to just get to that point. We don't have to explain ourselves. That's why I like this King 6'8" video. Like I said, I'm going to give you credit where it's due, and I'm going to get on your ass when it's not. And I want people to do the same for me, right? I make mistakes, goddammit. I'm not going to sit around and, motherfucker, I get on my own ass. You feel me? I was in a live Q&A. I made a mistake with a chick one time. I chased her ass. She caught herself trying to leave. I chased her all the way down from my apartment and went back outside for her. I shouldn't have fucking left. She decided to leave. I shouldn't have fucking chased her. I make mistakes too, goddammit. We all make mistakes. What I'm trying to give you the information of is, okay, you made a mistake. You know the mistake you made. How do you go about correcting it? This is why my whole entire channel is super, super, super important and super valuable to understand, especially when I tell guys to turn down their care. Because for the untrained, right? For the untrained, this will break them. A guy who's obsessed with a woman, not understanding that the best thing that you can do for the woman that you're obsessed with is sometimes being willing to let her ass go. But for the guy who isn't emotionally strong enough to handle that, that can break him. That can be the end of that guy. And that is what that guy is afraid of. You understand where I'm coming from? What I'm trying to tell you, have that care turned down so that is not a fear of yours to begin with. Because these modern day women will exploit your weaknesses with no shame. She will fuck around and be masculine as fuck with you and then turn around and submit easily to another man. I've had situations, right, where you will find out that a guy is fucking another guy's girl, right? And you will see this guy, he's super feminine, so you kind of know that, like, she cheating low-key. You get what I'm trying to say? You know she cheating. She ain't rocking with him like that. You get what I'm trying to say? I had this situation. It was a little deaf white dude trying to act like he was black and whatever the case is on the college or whatever the case is. He had a badass bitch with some big-ass titties. I was fucking the shit out of that hoe. You feel me? But I had a situation where I knew both the guys. I knew the guy that was fucking the nigga bitch, and I knew the guy that was his bitch. The guy that was his bitch, he was just a little bit more feminine as a man. You could tell he didn't have a backbone. You could tell he didn't stand up for his chick. You can tell all of this stuff, right? The guy that was fucking his bitch was a lot more masculine in sports, things like that. When the guy, because I'm not a snitch. I'm not the one to make shit messy, whatever the case is. I can hear both sides of the story, and you would never, not one side would know. I can be cool with both sides, and not one side would even know what the fuck I knew. You understand? So when the feminine guy would talk about his bitch, you know, he would say stuff, and I'd be trying to correct him. I'd be like, hey, man, you got to get on her about that, man. He would say stuff like, yeah, man, you know, she's not really like the sexual type of girl. Like, she doesn't really like to do much in the bedroom, you know, I get lucky with her every now and again. She's not really into sex like that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and then sometimes she'll stop me halfway through. I won't even be able to come and stuff like that, right? So I'm listening to this guy's story, and I'm like, so she's stopping you before you even come? She barely giving you the pussy? She don't never suck your dick? She don't never do none of this stuff? But then the guy that she cheating with, he got a different fucking story about the same girl. He'll be like, hey, you know old girl? Now, I know old girl because that's old boy girlfriend. Oh, yeah, I know her. Bruh, eat her, nigga. Bruh, anything I tell her, bruh, shit, bruh, sucking that bitch, licking that bitch off the floor, sucking the nigga toes. You feel me? Let a nigga told me to put it in her ass. Like, every time she come through, nigga, nasty. You feel me? It's the same girl, but she is submissive with one guy and masculine with another guy. Bossing one guy around, which is her man. This is the crazy part. The guy that's her man, she tell him, no, I don't want to do that, honey. No, I'm not into that. No, I'm not really into sex. No, I don't really like giving you head. Can you hurry up? I don't feel it no more. Can you just stop halfway through? Meanwhile, her side nigga, and she look like an innocent little white girl, you would never know. Meanwhile, the side guy that she's hooking up with, stupid, nasty, slutty, dumb, nasty sex with. You feel me? And if she was to ever try to put that type of energy on the other guy would probably most likely correct that. You feel me? If he felt something off, one day he fucking her real nasty sloppy, the next day she off, he gonna be like, hey man, what's going on? Like, nah, like what's happening? Well, I don't feel it. All right, well, you can go back home if you ain't feeling it. Like, well, I don't know why you here. You feel me? I don't know why you chilling with me if you ain't feeling it. Cause the other day, you was slobbing, spitting, blowing bubbles on that thing. You understand? So this is what I'm trying to tell you guys is, if you can't get that feminine energy out of her, somebody else can. That's all I'm trying to tell you. If you can't get that feminine energy out of her, somebody else can. And this is a common thing that even some of the CLG guys run into. Some of the CLG guys will be like, man, for the girls that I truly don't give a fuck about, bro, I get the most out of those hoes. Like, the ones that ain't really 100% my type, but I put her through the process, whatever case is, man, I'm getting that girl do nasty shit for me, like crazy shit for me. But the ones I really, really like and they super beautiful and they super gorgeous, like, I can't really get them on my program like that. Yeah, because you care too much, nigga. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, everything that I'm telling you about these females, bro, the moment you start overly caring about a bitch, that's when you put her in her masculine. I know it's sad, bro. I know it sounds like it's crazy. I know it's mind-blowing, but it's the truth. Your only goal is to get her on your program. It sounds harsh, but it's the fucking truth, bro. She making excuses with you. She not making those same excuses from a nigga that she adore and that she obsessed with. And you think it's about looks. You niggas got caught into, oh, it's because he looked better than me. Sometimes that nigga shorter than you, fatter than you, and he's still getting more out of her than you because of how he act. You feel me? And as a grown-ass man, you don't have to explain yourself. When girls try to throw, why is sex so important at you? You don't have to explain yourself. It just is what it is. You with the program or you not. Girls are going to try to shame you into this because you have to understand. I was watching this breakdown of Mika and Anton Daniels. I don't know if you brothers know those guys. Anton Daniels like a little fat ass YouTube creator, got a whole bunch of money, whole bunch of following, and he got a wife, but he working with this chick that people think they got a thing going on, whatever the case is, which I don't really give a fuck. You get me trying to say, like, I don't give a fuck what nigga put his dick. But somebody was breaking down their little affair, and the chick that was breaking it down, she was calling it an emotional affair. So basically what she was trying to say is, like, you know, girls, we don't necessarily need sex, but we want a man's emotions. We want a man's like admiration. We want a man's desire, but we don't want to necessarily fuck the man. Like, We don't really like want to have sex. And that's what I've been trying to tell you motherfuckers since the beginning of the channel. Girls don't want to have sex. Girls want to be fucked. There's a difference. Girls don't want to have sex. Like, they want to be fucked by a man. Like they want to be fucked. Like, they like the whole entire experience. They like the experience from top to bottom. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, they don't want to necessarily, like, they don't walk around and be like, I need some dick today. Like, some hoes like that, some masculine ass, high testosterone bitches, they like that, but that's a small percentage. The majority of women want to be fucked by a man. They want the man to do all of the everything to get her in a position to be fucked. They actually lose respect for a man who gets her to his house and doesn't make a move. Nigga done did all that work to get her in the crib and he ain't even clapping the cheeks. They're gonna lose respect for that man because they like, damn, he a bitch for real. You understand where I'm coming from? So you gotta understand, the woman's strategy is to get what she wants, the attention, the admiration, and she doesn't want to give none of that coochie up in return. And she's gonna have excuses. Oh, I'm married. Oh, I got a husband. Oh, those are all excuses that she used to see how weak you is. You get what I'm trying to say? Because a real one is like, well, if you in my presence alone, like, you can say you married, but if you linking with me and you texting me back and you come into my crib, yeah, nigga, you can say that shit, but I don't believe none of that shit. You feel me? Because your actions and your body saying something completely different than what your fucking words are saying. Now, there's some advanced shit. Now, I advise you guys to jump into CLG, become elite before you start trying to pull off shit like this, because some of you niggas might end up in jail because you don't know how to pull it off the right way. Right? This advanced shit, this the shit for the CLG community. You understand where I'm coming from? So don't you be going out there talking about, she at my house, I gotta rape her. Like, no, nigga, that's not how that shit works. Okay? There's some skill and some tact. All that shit is in the CLG community. All that shit can be taught to you. All that shit be broken down for you. But at the end of the day, you gotta be willing to make that investment in yourself in order to master that, so you don't have a problem with women. But going back to the topic at hand, you understand a woman's strategy is to get as much attention, resources, and all of that out of you without having to give you nothing in return. And she's going to try to shame you with things like the Bible, things like that, other people's opinions, the world, the propaganda. It's to try to shame you for the things that you want as a man, even though she's going to get the things that she wants as a woman. She's going to make the things that she wants as a woman seem pure, innocent, and beautiful. Like, you know, I just want you to spend time with me and love me and buy me things and do stuff. Yeah, bitch, and I just want you sucking my dick, bitch. That's what the fuck I want. You get what I'm trying to say? But why do men always make everything about sex? Why is sex so important to you? Because it is. You feel me? Because it is. It's important to me because it is. You understand what we're saying? We don't need to get into this. This is how the Creator made us. God damn it. This is what's important to me. You stated what's important to you. If you want that out of me, my attention and all this bullshit, resources, all that protection, all that bullshit, foresight, I want that throat and them guts. Now there's gonna be a bunch of feminine ass men who were brainwashed by propaganda. Be like, no, CJ, it's not all about sex. It's about an emotional connection. This is why you get cheated on, bro. Because she don't want to date another fucking female, bro. If both of y'all is focused on emotional connection, who's fucking who? We just have such a strong emotional connection and we just talk and drink tea. And yes, this is how you get those relationships where they're married and be like, my wife hasn't even had sex with me for 2 years. We sleep in separate bedrooms, but then we go outside and we hold hands. This is my wife. That's called social monogamy, motherfucker. You feel me? She's getting everything that she wants out of yo sucker dumbass, while she out here getting everything that she want, but she still fucking is getting fucked by a guy who ain't giving her none of that shit. You understand where I'm coming from? She's still getting that pussy fucked on by a guy who don't care, who ain't giving her none of that goofy, la bullshit. You understand where I'm coming from? So this is how the modern day woman will try to shame you. This is how the world will try to shame you. They're going to try to make you feel bad for being a masculine man. This is how the world works. They're literally going to try to make you feel bad for being a man. I'm giving you guys permission to be not only a man, the most masculine version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's all you really have. If they strip you from your money, they strip you from your title, they strip you from your cars, they even strip you from your motherfucking water, or from your shelter. At the end of the day, all you have is being a fucking masculine man who stands for something, who knows what he wants and he goes for it. See, what you allowed to happen and what the world has allowed to happen and what propaganda has pushed on you is it's all about the woman's happiness. But if we want to go to how it's designed by the creator, it was really the woman is supposed to be supportive to the man, meaning that it's all about the man's vision. A man is willing to sacrifice his happiness for the greater good or the greater cause. A man is also willing to sacrifice his life for the greater good or greater cause. Hence, war. A woman isn't necessarily willing to sacrifice her life for the greater good or greater cause. Hence, why the woman should be the helpmeet to the man. So whatever excuses that she can find ways to not give you what you want as a man, you have to understand as a masculine man, if it is not serving you, the situation or the woman is not serving you, you have to be willing to leave said situation. It's that simple. Now for all you guys, where I know some of you guys, you really understand this, you internalize this, you guys are in the field, you're dealing with a couple women, you understand where I'm coming from because you seeing it in real time. For you guys that's really trying to become elite, now here's the thing. There's some guys that are natural, they use my YouTube channel and they're getting a little bit better, right? And that's perfectly fine. My YouTube channel is to make you better, right? You're going to get a little bit better. There are going to be those guys that are going to get a little bit better. But I guarantee you, a guy who's trash, if he goes through that 13-week program, he will be better than that natural. A guy who's trash, who goes through that 13-week program, will be better than that natural. If you think I'm lying, you can see it across the board anywhere. Take a trash basketball player. Take a guy who's naturally talented. You put that trash basketball player through camp after camp after camp after camp, while the natural player, you know what I mean, he just going to the gym every day, you know, picking up some stuff here and there, listening to some stuff, you know, he very unintentional about how much better he really getting. Unless he just got some crazy ass talent, like incredible hops or whatever the case is. Let's say they both got the same level of talent, God-given talent, like they both can jump around the same height. They both are around, I mean, they can jump, they have a similar vertical, and they're around the same height. Obviously, we're not talking about a 5'4" guy playing against a 6'11" guy. You get what I'm trying to say? But let's just say their attributes are similar, but this guy that's trash, he the same height as the other guy. They jump about the same, but like before this trash guy got through training, the guy that was naturally talented was whooping his ass. Let's say the score was like 11-3 or some shit like that, and they playing 1-on-1, right? Let's say you put this trash guy through a 90-day fucking training program, and he working on his dribble, he working on his shot, he working on his post moves, he working on his spots, he working on all that stuff like that. I guarantee you, after those 90-something days, and the other guy, he just a natural, like he ain't really training nothing like that. He just going to the local LA Fitness, whatever the case is. 9 times out of 10, that guy that's trash is going to surpass that guy that's naturally great. Now, if you fuck around and get a naturally great person in that same program, oh, that nigga might go to the NBA. You understand where I'm coming from? That's the difference. Like, for example, Cade Cunningham. He started a little bit later than other basketball players, but he was naturally gifted, right? I like Cade Cunningham's story, actually, because they tried to put him in football, but he didn't like football. He ended up liking basketball, so he made the switch late. So they put him in his own apartment when he was like 16. He lived alone. He had his daughter, but his parents decided to take care of his daughter so he can chase his basketball dream. And he really delved into, he was already naturally talented at basketball. He's a big kid. He tall, all that. But then his brother and his training staff, and they went into rigorous training on working on the game. Now look at him, NBA All-Star. You understand where I'm coming from? So that's what the CLG program is about, is to get you guys elite. Now you got to understand, those basketball guys, they spend thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on those camps. That CLG, only $48 a month right now. Now, prices will go up, but as of right now, it's only $48 a month. You understand where I'm coming from? So you do the math. It depends on how bad you want to get great at this, but it is essential. Because if you keep allowing women to take the masculine role, this is where you're going to start getting women. Their pussy's going to be dry. They're not going to want to give you head. They're going to want to talk back. They're not going to want to have sex with you. They're not going to want to give you what you want, while in turn taking what they want from you. Even if she started out giving you what you want, it's going to slowly dwindle down the less respect she started to have for you as a man. So you have to understand this. This is why CLG is needed. Because there's so much propaganda out there that's working against you. There's so many people in your own girl's ear telling her to be more masculine, telling her to stand up for herself, telling her to do these things that are against her nature. And because she's doing shit against her nature, that's going to naturally make her pussy dry up. That's going to naturally make her resent you. You understand? So stop being afraid of being masculine. Stop being apologetic about being masculine. Understanding that being masculine is the only way. That's why I pulled this clip. I really do think King 68 was hitting on something when he was talking on this clip. And with that being said, I'm going to end the video there. But hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody who needs to hear this, and jump into the CLG community. Link is in the comments. Link is in the description. It's only $48 a month. And with that being said, I am out. Peace.